Hello everyone, this is Gaurav. Today we discuss about the topic encapsulation in Java. So first we discuss what we discuss in the encapsulation in Java. Uh, we define encapsulation, what is actual encapsulation, why encapsulation is need. Then we see the example encapsulation. After that we defining the instance methods visibility, and we do some practicals encapsulation examples hands on. So first we define what is actual encapsulation. So already I declared that object oriented programming a very important concept. One of the encapsulation is also one of the important concept in object oriented programming. And each object has two view, that is internal view and external view. So encapsulation is that process we have to combining the data and code into a single unit, or in other words we say the wrapping up of data and function, that means method, into a single unit, or that is class, is also a encapsulation. So in terms of data, we treat it in programming that is the variables. So data members are the variables in programming terms of view, and the methods in class, that is the actual code you can write. So encapsulation is a form of protection, so also called the information hiding. So outside the world does not have direct access to the internal implementation or representation of an object. As long as the external view does not change, the internal view can take any form without affecting the outside world. So जैसे मैंने बताया था आपको कि each object has two view, इंटरनल व्यू एंड एक्सटर्नल व्यू. तो जो एक्सटर्नल व्यू जो होता है वो इंटरनल व्यू को इफेक्ट नहीं कर सकता है, क्योंकि उसको नहीं पता है कि इंटरनली उसमें क्या है. सो एक्सटर्नल व्यू डज नॉट इफेक्ट change the internal view that can be formed without affecting the outside world. So by hiding the data and providing methods to gain access to it, an object can maintain high data integrity. So methods have the responsibility of maintaining the data integrity. So this is we say that is the advantage of encapsulation. And private visibility offers full encapsulations, protected and default offer limited encapsulation. Public offers no encapsulation, data should be in private, so no outside the classes can be inherited. So in simple terms, we encapsulation is the process of combining data and code into a single unit. So every object is associated with its data and code, and in programming data is defined as a variable and code is defined as a method. Okay, so Java programming languages use the class concept to implement the encapsulation. So let's see the one example scenario we have to clear. In programming section, so declaring of a variable should be private, so no outside the class could be inherited. Okay, so that's, you have to see that we have to define here the class here account, and the data members, the data variables will be declared as a private. Okay, private integer numbers, overdraft limit, data start date, string owner, and the methods. So instance variables are encapsulated, so not direct access from outside the object, because you have to make the data instance variables are make be private. And each object has its own variable, so these variables are declared within a class. You have to see here the instances here, the you have to use two object here, number different, that is overdraft, start date, owner, and here we have to assign number 1 2 3. So each variable have its own there will a security will be provided. So other words, why encapsulation we need? So better control of class attributes and methods. Class attributes can be made read only if you use only the get method, or write only if you use the set method. So they have to use the getter and setter method for methods. So if you and only read purpose, you can use only get method, and if you use to set the method, write something, then you have to use the set method. The programmer can change one part of the code without affecting the other part. This is the also the flexibility will be provided by encapsulation. That's also the reason for using the why we use encapsulation. And the main one more advantage for using encapsulation, that we have to increase security of a code. Okay, because you have to make the data variables private, that's provide the security that outside the class cannot take. Now next one is defining instance methods visibility. So methods have the same visibility modifiers as variables. जैसे आपने देखा होगा मॉडिफायर्स, चार मॉडिफायर्स होते हैं हमारे, पब्लिक, प्राइवेट, प्रोटेक्टेड एंड डिफॉल्ट. सो पब्लिक जो होता है, दैट मेथड कैन बी इन्वोक्ड फ्रॉम एनीवेयर, यू कैन एनी क्लास यू कैन एक्सेस. व्हेन यू मेक द प्राइवेट, द मेथड कैन ओनली इन्वोक विद इन अ क्लास, केवल हम लोग क्लास के अंदर ही इसको इन्वोक कर सकते हैं. प्रोटेक्टेड जो होता है आपका, द मेथड कैन बी इन्वोक डायरेक्टली फ्रॉम विद इन अ क्लास और विद इन अ पैकेज और विद इन एन सब क्लास, जो कि उस क्लास से इनहेरिट हो रहा होगा, पेरेंट चाइल्ड रिलेशनशिप होगा, देन यू कैन डायरेक्टली कैन इनहेरिट. एंड द लास्ट वन इज डिफॉल्ट, दैट इज नो मॉडिफायर स्पेसिफाइड. अगर आपने कोई भी मॉडिफायर स्पेसिफाइड नहीं करा, दैट इज ट्रीटेड एज अ डिफॉल्ट, एंड दिस मेथड कैन बी इन्वोक डायरेक्टली विद इन अ पैकेज. तो इस पैकेज के अंदर जो भी होगा आपका, वो डायरेक्टली इनहेरिट हो जाएगा. सो इफ अ मेथड इज पार्ट ऑफ द क्लास पब्लिक इंटरफेस, दैट इज एक्सटर्नल व्यू का पार्ट है, दैट मेथड शुड बी पब्लिक. तो उसको हम लोग मेथड को हमेशा क्या बनाएंगे, पब्लिक. इफ द मेथड इज अ पार्ट ऑफ द क्लास इंटरनल इम्प्लीमेंटेशन, इट शुड बी प्राइवेट. ओके, अगर वो क्लास का पार्ट होगा, दैट इज मेथड, दैट शुड बी प्राइवेट. एंड बी केयरफुल बाय यूजिंग डिफॉल्ट और प्रोटेक्टेड. सो use only when you have to justify. So we have to, depending on the application, what type of application you can use, so you can use these modifiers. Okay, so let's see one example practically. I provide one example to clear the encapsulation example. So let's see. Okay, so let's see the one practical example of encapsulation. Okay, so encapsulation already discussed in theoretical, the wrapping of data and function into a single unit. So make the variable as a private, and methods for using, we have to use the getter and setter method. So let's see one example. First I create one class here. Class name is I said person. Okay, so here we have to use one variable, string name. Okay, here we have to use the encapsulation, so we have to make the data, that variable has a private. So I make a private here. Now here we have to use the approach of getter. So getter and setter method, we have to make the get method and set method as public. So we have to easily, you can view and change the method. Okay, so we have to make this method as public. Write a string name, get name, return the name, write return name, and next method we have to write the set method. So you have to write public string set name, and here you have to pass one name which we have to pass from the main class, string new name. And you have to write this dot name. For this keyword you have to use for the current instance variable, that is new name. you have to assign. So this way you have to make one class here, a person. Okay, so now you can make a main function here from where we have program can execute. So I write make a main function here, public static void main string args. So here we have to write the object. We have to create the class name is person. I create object name p, new person, and now you can write p dot. You can access set name, and I set here Gaurav, and you want to go get the name. So you have to print the value. So you have to write system dot out dot println. You have to write p dot get name. You have to close the class here. I already the bracket here. Just okay. So the main program you can execute from the main function. आपने person class के एक object बनाया p dot set name. तो set name में आप क्या set कर रहे हैं? Name you have to set Gaurav. So new name will be assigned here Gaurav, and new name will be assigned to name. और जो आपके current instance variable हैं जो कि private हैं, okay, you can set the name here. और अब आप उस नेम को गेट करना चाहते हैं, सो यू हैव टू यूज़ द पी डॉट गेट नेम मेथड. अब गेट नेम मेथड में आपका जो भी आपने नेम करा, तो नेम किस में असाइन हो गया था? गौरव नेम में. तो आपकी वैल्यू रिटर्न होगी नेम, दैट इज गौरव. ओके, सो लेट्स सी द आउटपुट. राइट, जावा सी स्पेस क्लास नेम इज पर्सन डॉट जावा. कंपाइल सक्सेसफुली. नाउ यू एग्जीक्यूट person. Okay, you have to print the output here Gaurav. Okay, so you have to clear the concept here, the make the data private, that we have to use the outside the class you cannot inherit, and you have to use the method here, the getter and setter method. Okay, and we have to make the getter and setter method public, so you can view and change the method their value easily. Okay, so this is the concepts of encapsulation. Okay, so one thing you can note here, if you define only the getter method, it can be read only. Okay, and if you define setter method, it can be made write only. Okay, तो setter method हम लोग write कर सकते हैं और getter method में केवल हम लोग read कर सकते हैं. And if you use if you define both getter and setter method, so you can made read and write. तो यहीं पे हम लोग ने इस एग्जाम्पल में देखा है कि जब मैंने getter और setter method का यूज़ करा है, तो वहाँ पे मैं उस वैल्यू को मैं राइट भी कर पा रहा हूँ और रीड भी कर पा रहा हूँ. और यहाँ पे मैंने वेरिएबल को प्राइवेट रखा है, डेट्स वाई कि हम आउटसाइड द क्लास इस वेरिएबल को एक्सेस नहीं कर पा रहे हैं डायरेक्टली. वी कैन कम्युनिकेट विद द गेटर एंड सेटर मेथड. सो दिस इज द मेन कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ इंकैप्सुलेशन. अगर मैं इस वेरिएबल को प्राइवेट हटा देता हूँ, सो यू कैन डायरेक्टली एक्सेस थ्रू द ऑब्जेक्ट. सो दैट्स वाई वी हैव टू यूज द इंकैप्सुलेशन हियर. Okay, so I hope everyone clear it. That's much for the encapsulation. Thank you.